Hello friends, this is Raj Sastri from Raj Option Trading. Today is July 4, 2021. Happy July 4th to all of you. So with that, we'll quickly do a market recap for last week and look at trading ideas for next week, major news shaping the market, macro trends, and top and bottom performing stocks last week, and what stocks are worth investing. So with that, let's jump in. From a major news perspective, we have to watch Fed at this point because of the strong jobs report. The Fed might surprise with a rate increase. That's something to watch out. And wages jumped in June as employers try to lure workers. This could create inflation risk. So as inflation persists, you could really bank on Fed to take some action. So they might look at increasing the rate as one option. And also looks like Fed is looking at considering tapering this year. So as Fed's tapering bond buying programs, that might also have some pressure on the stock market. So that's something to watch from Fed perspective, because right now things are looking good from a employment perspective. Salaries and the wages are going up, so that might prompt Fed to take some action. And then we got general news here. Bitcoin mining is now easier and more profitable as algorithms adjust for China crackdown. So that's a major news for crypto fans. There could be some money to be made in the Bitcoin mining. Think about stocks like Marathon Digital, BT, and a couple of stocks like this. I think that's where you can think through and see is it worth buying at this time. Then we got TSA screening surpassed 2019 levels. So this is where more and more people have taken the COVID shots, and folks are really confident to travel at this time. That's why you see, the lines are picking up in the airports, and airports are really scrambling. That's a good news. You can think through the travel, the leisure, the hotel, hospitality industry. That's all. We'll kind of get a boom from this. S&P 500 raises for the seventh straight day after a strong job report, best winning streak in 10 months. So you got to look at this as S&P 500 raises, maybe for 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. As it crosses maybe 11th or 12th, you better watch out. You can go up in straight line. There will be some pullbacks. So that's where it looks like we are due for a pullback, maybe a smaller pullback as we go forward. Bitcoin had a volatile first half. It was jumping up and down wildly. So we got to watch and see what happens as we go forward. We have to look at regulations and what governments around the world will do. That's one thing to watch out. But generally, any severe bad news in Bitcoin is a good buying opportunity most of the times. So with that, crude oil prices top $75 a barrel. So this is where we have to watch out. Oil prices are going up and up. We got to be watching out this carefully. Don't jump in and buy these oil stocks at these levels. Be selective and look at good companies, because normally when oil goes this high, something is bound to happen. It can't keep going up. This happened earlier, then finally things came crashing down. Be a little careful if you're buying some of these oil stocks. Flying is back. It's again, folks are flying. Air travel is eclipsing the pre-COVID levels. That's good to know. Especially the travel and leisure industries, they will do very well. So with that, let's jump in here and look at some stock news here. From a stock news perspective, Tesla delivers more than 200,000 vehicles for the first time. So that's a good news. Tesla is really taking on a new role here. I think they want to really lead the electrification and selling more and more electric cars. That's the good news here. A lot of new IPO listings. We got GRPH, CXM, Veriv, EVCM, a lot of these. We got to watch out, what to buy in this market. Normally, the moment you see more and more IPO listings, basically the demand for the existing stocks might come down a little bit, because the money has to sell folks have to sell the existing stocks to some extent, especially these hedge funds, and buy these newer listings. And as you look here, some of these company stock more than fell. This is where I think this is IBM. IBM, as you know, we got this CEO of Red Hat who joined IBM. Now he's really announcing he want to step down. So you got to watch out IBM at this point because it's a great company. Maybe it's a buying opportunity at this point. Could be worth watching this. I'm buying IBM on this news slowly and hold it for a while. So IBM typically it's good to buy when it's down. Next, let's look at more news here. CRISPR gene editing treatment could reach patients very soon. It's Intelia CEO. So Intelia stock, shot up so high last week. I think generally it's good for all the gene editing type stocks. We will watch this carefully and see what's worth buying. At this point, I don't feel comfortable buying Intelia. It's already up so much. I would look at other stocks in this segment. Arrowhead Pharmaceutical passes the test of cystic fibrosis treatment. Stock tumbles. I'm looking at adding to my position here. Just slowly add these good stocks like Arrowhead on this a little bit bad news. Typically it's a good company. It gives the opportunity in these type of scenarios. It's good to buy slowly and accumulate. And one more is really Exelixis stock collapses. Folks are wondering, can it recover from mixed results in liver cancer study? I think it's again a good buying opportunity. The company has got ton of pipeline candidates. I would buy Exelixis on this bad news. And then we got Virgin Galactic versus Blue Origin, Branson versus Bezos. I would watch these companies. For example, Virgin Galactic stock has fallen off last week. I would wait for a little bit, pullback, and I will slowly add to my position. And then we got Novacure, one of my favorite stocks. Flashes sell after liver cancer test disappoints. I'll be buying Novacure on this news. It's a great company. All these opportunities are really good to buy. I think I'll buy this and take it forward. J&J says its single-shot COVID vaccine shows strong activity against Delta variant. That's a good news for J&J. This stock has been a little bit pulled back of late. I would buy J&J, solid balance sheet, great dividend aristocrat. I would buy J&J on any bad news and take it from there. Then we got United Airlines buying 270 Boeing and Airbus jets. Looks like air travel is back. Companies like UAL, they're buying more and more jets. That's a good news here. Overall, stocks like Boeing and Airbus and others can do well. I think generally looks like travel industry is back. Airlines might do better off as we go forward. And good news for Facebook here. Judge dismisses FTC and state antitrust complaints against Facebook. I think Facebook has done a great job of late with the Facebook shops and Instagram shops, helping small businesses with the help of Shopify here. I would buy Facebook on any pullback. This stock is trying to make it into a $1 trillion club. I think market cap is slowly but surely reaching $1 trillion. Morgan Stanley doubles its dividend as most banks raise payouts. Many of these majority of these 5 big banks, they all get a green light from Feds. I think now they can basically give some dividend, buy back their own share. That's a good news for bank stocks. I would look at some of these bank stocks and buy them on any weakness. Next, we'll look at a few more stock news here. Looks like Kathy Wood, she wants to create a Bitcoin ETF called ARKB. That's a good sign. It will give more liquidity for all this Bitcoin. She has been buying things like Ethereum and a couple of those ETFs, as you might have seen. I think it's a good news here. She typically takes advantage of stock drops and crypto drops. I think it's good to see she's trying to create one. That's the good news here. A lot of these new IPOs that we have talked about this already. We have to watch this out carefully. And FTC charges computer chip supplier Broadcom, ticker symbol AVGO, Avago. I like this company. Looks like Broadcom settles antitrust case. I think it's a good one to buy on any weakness. It's a great company. IBM worst performer. We talked about this already. Looks like Whitehurst stepped down as president. He was seen as a successor for Ginny a while ago, but looks like he's out right now. Still, we have new CEO Arvind Krishna. I think he can do well. We'll see how it goes. I'm buying IBM into this weakness and hold it for a while. And ARM CEO says NVIDIA merger is better than going public. I think that's a great story. Looks like we might have a situation here where regulators are approving this NVIDIA ARM merger. That's a great news for both companies. I love NVIDIA. Its stock is already up a lot. I would wait for any temporary weakness and might buy. Amazon to grant new CEO Andy Jassy 200 million of stock. I think Amazon is really turning a new chapter in their corporate history. It's good to have a new CEO, new thought process, new perspectives. As Jeff Bezos takes a backseat here, I think Andy Jassy is a great CEO. I think Amazon will do very good. Carnival Cruise Line to launch first Voyager from US port since last year. That's a good news. Really the cruise industry can take a note here and they will follow suit pretty soon. I think overall that's a good news for any the travel and especially cruise liners. So with that, let's look at major earnings update here. From a high level perspective, we got McCormick, one of my favorite stocks here. They're into spice and condiments. I think they beat and guide. That's the good news. I think stock fell off a little bit after that, but still looks like cooking at home trend continues. That's a good story for McCormick. It's good to buy on this small drop here. Anybody remembers Luckin Coffee? This used to be one of the hot stock before. Looks like finally they're getting their groove back here. We should look at this company and see is it worth buying. I would not jump in quickly, but watch the stock carefully and see if it's worth looking at. Constellation Brands STZ, they narrow the sales as a square sales squeak past the estimates. This is a good company. They also invested in Canopy Growth, as you might be knowing, which is a cannabis play. I think this is a good company. I would buy this company on any weakness. They're one of the leaders in the beverage industry. Micron CEO sees semiconductor growth. I think they also see these cars becoming data centers on wheels with the 5G rollout. I think that's a very good prediction. As people see this 5G, they want their cars to be all internet and Wi-Fi savvy. I think we'll see that as we go forward. And Jefferies Financial Group, ticker symbol JEF, looks like they beat the Q2 earnings. Revenues are up. And also ups the dividend. That's a good story for financial companies like Jefferies. Yum China, their EPS and revenue they beat. That's a good news. Especially US can take a cue from China. China is a step ahead when it comes to this pandemic. I think generally US restaurants will also do well, maybe a month or two or maybe a quarter down the line. Affirmed, one of my favorite stock, they post Q1 top line beat. Provides cash runway update. I think it's a good news for Affirmed. It's a very low dollar stock. I would buy this company on any weakness and hold it for a while. On the negative news side, we got General Mills. I think earnings and sales topped estimates, but I think they had some year-over-year drop. I would buy General Mills on any weakness. It's a good company. They had a great run last year with the people stocking up at home, but now it's a tough comparison. Bed Bath and Beyond missed the EPS. Analysts are raising their forecast. This one, I think this might do well as we reopen. We would buy this company on any weakness, not on the good days, and keep it for a while. Herman Miller, I've seen this stock, going up and down drastically around the earnings. Right now, stock falls, outlook disappoints. I think this one is a good one to buy into this weakness. They will do well as more and more people go into office. Companies will buy more furnitures and more chairs. It will do well. We can also look at companies like Steelcase, which is in the same area. Walgreens swings to profit. Stock is falling. Generally both Walgreens as well as Rite Aid. I think both of the company stock fell last week. I would buy both of these companies onto weakness and hold it for a while. Mattress company Purple Innovation shares slide 7.5%. I would look at this company also, buy on the weakness and keep it for a while. And same story with the equity brands. AYI stock down despite of Q3 earnings beat. I think equity brands is an interesting one. I would buy this on this temporary weakness and hold it for a while. So with that, now let's look at what's trending. From last week, what's going up, what's going down. Yes, on the positive side, solar stocks are doing nicely. We got VNDW, JKS, Daqo, one of my favorites here, Sonova, CSQ, and so on and so forth. I would wait for a small pullback and buy some of these stocks. I'd been buying Daqo. It fell last week because of the human rights violation in the area that it's in China. That was a good buying opportunity. Fintech stocks are trading higher. We got Affirm, Stone, STNE, Paychex, so on and so forth. I think normally it's good to buy some of these stocks on any temporary weakness. They will all do well. You can add a couple other of my favorites here. Upstart, NC, they're also good ones to buy. Big data stocks are trading lower. We got Palantir, AYX, AI, which is C3 AI, Tom Siebel's company, MongoDB, Snowflake, Domo. All these stocks are trading higher. We should be selective here and see what's worth investing. Stocks like Palantir is still worth investing at this point, and maybe a couple others too. Gene editing stocks are higher, with the CRISPR technology, in the limelight. Stocks like anti-LA, Beam, Edit, Fate, they're all doing nicely. I think these stocks have been down for a while. Now they're taking a good breather. With this, I think Kathy's human genomic ETF can do well. That's a good one. Semiconductor stocks are up. We got Nvidia, Qualcomm, Texas Instruments, so on and so forth. I think we got to be selective here also and buy some good opportunities and take it from there. Healthcare stocks are up. We got Regeneron. This was down for a long time. Water, BIO, ABT, and so on and so forth. I would be selective in this area also. There are a lot of good opportunities in the healthcare, especially biotech area. It's good to buy the stocks on a bad news and then hold it for a while. Home builders are up. No surprise here. NVR, Leonard, DHI. These folks also give very good opportunity once in a while. For example, last month we had a very good opportunity to buy Leonard and a couple of home builders on the little bit quarterly earning jitters. I think that's the way to buy these stocks. And last but not least, we got a lot of new IPOs last week. We got DDL, CPOP, Krispy Kreme, DD, which is China's company here, and EVCM, and a couple of these companies. I would be looking at DD, which is China-based company, and EVCM as well as Sentinel here. I would look at these companies and see if it's worth investing. I will be also watching these IPOs to see how they're doing and buy as needed. And pet care stocks are trading lower. We got PETZ, Pets, Zomedic, ZOM, PetQ, and so on and so forth. I would buy these stocks on any weakness slowly and accumulate a nice position. 3D printing stocks are trading lower. We got XXII, NNDM, Stratasys, VJet, all these stocks, they will do well sometimes. Sometimes they will drop. All these drops will be good opportunities. We'll look at some of these and see what's worth buying. Cybersecurity stocks are trading lower. As you can see, a RAMP, INTZ, DNB, and so on and so forth. And there is a major cybersecurity outbreak happening. Out buy some of these stocks on the weakness and hold it for a while. Few SPAC stocks are trading lower. You got Virgin Galactic, and a couple of these companies. I would look at these companies and see if it's worth buying. Many of these companies are, really good companies. Even Dermtech as an example. Butterfly is one of my favorite. App Harvest, it's been down of late. I would buy some of these companies and hold it for a while, including Desktop Metal and Arrival and so on and so forth. Few cloud stocks are trading lower. We got apps, which is Digital Turbine, one of my favorites here. I would buy this on this weakness. Veritone, Fastly, and so on and so forth. I will be looking at these companies carefully, buying them on this weakness and take it from there. Cryptocurrency stocks are down. We got BT, Greenbox, EBON, so on and so forth. I'll be selective here. I'll look at some of the companies like BT, Greenbox, especially the software stories like Marathon and some of these companies and take it from there. Few cannabis stocks are down. As you can see here, XXII, Zine, EVG, and so on and so forth. These stocks are also good to buy when they're down. I would be accumulating some of these stocks and take it from there. Space stocks are trading lower. As you have heard in the past, there is some good rivalry happening between Richard Branson and Jeff Bezos when it comes to space. Everybody wants to go to space. So I'd be looking at some of these space stocks here and see if it's worth investing and adding to my position slowly. Electric vehicle stocks are down. We got Ride, BLBD, EXEL, so on and so forth. I'll be looking at few stocks like Solo, like Arrival, and even Frisker for matter, and add it to my position. Next, we'll look at macro situation here, look at big indices and see what's going on here. Is it worth buying at this time? From a big major indices perspective, S&P 500 doing very nicely here, as you can see here. This is a 3-month chart, 3-month daily chart. They were done nicely last couple of days. And same is the story with the Dow Jones Industrial Average and Nasdaq 100. And Russell is a little bit, as you can see, they had a little bit bad day or on Friday. So typically Russell gives you a clue on what might happen in the future. So with the Russell down here, you could expect some jitteriness in the bigger indices as you go forward. So at this time, I will not be buying these indices at the top here. I would be very selective. I would look at the stocks which are beaten down, good value plays versus buying these top stocks like Apple, like Microsoft at this time, because they are too high, including even Nvidia. As you look at bonds, bonds had a little bit bad day on Friday. Typically that's a good news for stocks. Interest rates are still going down, as you can see here. Crude oil is doing great. I think that's a little bit bad days, but still made the way up here. I would be watching crude oil. Crude oil is, they kind of went up so fast, so quickly, so fast. You got to watch out for crude oil here. Energy complex might have some jitteriness as you go forward with OPEC discussing what to do. Gold is taking a back seat, as you can see here. Gold has dropped off so much. I would buy some of these gold stocks, especially the ticker symbol GOLD, and even some of the good stocks in the gold area, and accumulate for a while. Dollar, I think it's generally trended higher. I think they had a little bit bad Friday. I think any weakness in dollar can help the commodities and gold and other things. So with that, let's jump in here into big ETFs here, the major ETFs, something similar to what you've seen here. S&P 500 going up, as you can see here, nicely. Same is the story, Dow Jones Industrial Average and QQQ. I would not touch these major players here. I would wait for them to pull back a little bit and then buy them. I think, as you can see here, IWM is showing some weakness here. that can go into other areas like QQQ, DIA, SPY next week. I would be watching out a little carefully here and buy good value plays and good stocks which are pulled down a little bit. TLT is going up. Looks like treasuries are going up as bonds are going up. That's a good news. But we got to watch out here. And then we got gold here. Gold is down for most part. Good to buy at this time. XLP is okay. Consumer staples. And XLU are also taking backseat. Anytime you see defensive areas like gold, XLP, XLU taking backseat, that tells you, the major stocks, the growth stocks are doing well. Typically, as you know, this is where the sector rotation happens when these areas like gold, XLP, XLU, and even TLT for that matter, when these take back seat, that's when stocks will do well. But when these, especially gold, XLP, XLU, when they go up, stocks will come down. That's the typical pattern here. I've been watching it for a while. XLK all-time high. This is our technology ETF. You got to watch out at this point. Don't buy too much into high valuation stocks or stocks at 52-week high. Watch out. There may be a pullback in play. SMH semiconductor cohorts are doing very nicely with the strong performance from NVIDIA as an example. We got to watch out. We would not buy at the top, but some of these stocks have done great in the past. I would watch out carefully and buy on any weakness. XAR, which is major defense contractors like Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and some of these companies, looks like they're taking some beating. I think it's okay to buy some of these on any weakness and hold it for a while. Energy cohort, I think it's doing nicely with the crude oil going up. Retail is doing well. They're waiting for folks to, go into shopping malls. That might happen with the COVID. More and more people are flying. That's a good news for XRT because folks have to buy, the clothes, the shoes, and whatnot as they go back to work and fly. IYR, the residential. I think these guys are doing well. Is really in the trading, right? They're trying to think through where to go. Should we go up or should we go down? So the real estate market, I think we have to watch out a little bit here. I would buy this on any weakness. I would not buy on up days. XLF, I think they're trying to make a comeback. XLF is unable to decide whether to go up or not. Sometimes we hear inflation is going up, Fed will increase the rates. That's a good news for banks. Some days we hear we are not ready to increase the rate yet. Either way, I would buy these financials on any weakness and hold it for a while. Rates can only stay low for some time. At some point, they have to go up. XLI big industrials, I think they're trying to make their comeback, as you can see here. It's okay to buy them on any weakness and hold it for a while. Now we look at S&P 500 index, SKU and VIX. It's a 5-year chart, as you can see here. S&P 500 is doing very nicely, all-time high, as you can see here. And SKU, which I watch very closely, SKU is almost, they're pulled back a little bit, 157. Still, it's above 145. I would watch carefully. SKU is at a level where I'm not comfortable. Anytime SKU crosses 145, you better watch out. So I think we have to be careful at this point. Don't buy too many stocks at a high price. Watch out a little bit, especially because SKU is high. As you can see here, when SKU was high here, back here, stock market came down. SKU went high here, stock market came down again. SKU was, I think it was high a little bit here. Stock market has had a temporary pullback, as you can see. So we got to watch SKU carefully and look at the SKU and look for any cues and go from there. Generally, it's not a good idea to buy when the SKU is high, like you've seen in the history here, or here. There is always a pullback in works. It could be for different reasons. Back here, it could be COVID-19. Earlier, it could be because Fed increased the rate. So you got to watch out. Reason could be different, but the moment SKU is high, there is always some pullback coming in our way. VIX is doing nothing, as you can see here, slowly, gradually going down. I think it could be good to buy some of the longer term VIX options as a hedge. It may not make too much money, but anytime VIX goes up, you can make some money here. It's a hedge type play. So with that, let's look at the bonds here. As you can see here, bonds are going up, and that's why interest rates are coming down. Inverse relationship, like we talked about, and dollar itself is going up and a little bit. I think they had a little bit weaker Friday. So bonds going up will apply some pressure on the stocks. Interest rates coming down will apply some pressure on the banks, as we all know. So with that, let's jump in here and look at some major stocks here. This is where I'll be very careful to buy these major stocks here. As you can see here, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, all Facebook, they're all at almost all-time high. Google is doing great. You got to watch out. Even Nvidia is all the way zipping higher. So you got to watch out here. Be careful. Don't buy these stocks at these levels. They will always give a pullback, and wait for that pullback. If you want to buy something, for example, Netflix, this was down below 500, was a great opportunity to buy. And right now, J&J, I think they're trying to go up here. I would wait for a little pullback. If you were to buy something, look at stocks like Berkshire Hathaway, BRKB. It's down a little bit, trying to make their way up here. That's a good one to buy in this list. And Home Depot is trying to make a small comeback here. I would wait for any temporary pullback here and buy Home Depot. Same story with the Medtronic and J&J. If there is a small pullback, you could buy. So next we look at major ETF. These are the big ETFs. Here, as you can look through this here, look at the last column. This will tell you how much these ETFs are off from 52-week high. As you see here, most of these major ETFs, XLK, they're above 52-week high. QQQ above 52-week high. SMH, they are stone throw away from 52-week high. XLV up, they're all up, even above 52-week high or close to 52-week high. So this is where you got to be a little selective here. If you want to buy something, look for areas where there is some little temporary weakness and buy there. But generally, the ETFs that I highlighted here, XLK, QQQ, SMH, and so on and so forth, they're good ones to buy on any weakness and hold for a long time. Generally, if you look at 5-year, 10-year, these ETFs, the bolded ones, they've done great. So you could just buy them, forget it. Look for any major crash and buy these ETFs, and forget and take it from there. So from an ETF winner perspective, as you can see here, after a brutal crypto crash, Grayscale, Ethereum, and Bitcoin, they are doing well. I think natural gas is doing okay these days. It's doing well. Technology is all-time high. I'll be careful with XLK here. Solar has done okay overall, 3% high in last 1 week. And as you scan through this year, you get the idea. A lot of stocks are doing great. You got to be careful here. Don't chase them at their highs. Wait for a small pullback here. As you can see, your Grayscale, Bitcoin, as well as Ethereum, they're still down from 52-week high. You could look at buying them, onto this weakness. And same story with solar. Most of the famous solar stocks, they're down right now, 30% down, even though they're up for the week. You could look at companies like Solar Edge, Enphase Energy, First Solar, and many others like Daqo Energy, and see, nibble them into small weaknesses. So with that, let's jump into ETF losers here. As we scan through this year, China, I think these big China stocks are losing out last week. And same story, MHCI, again, China ETF. Cannabis stocks are down last week. So I would look at some of these things and also see how much they're off from 52-week high. As example, FXI up 16%, down 15%, and even MCHI, same story. And cannabis cohorts are down big. I would look for in these areas, look at them selective stocks and buy them and take it from there. Same is the story with Jets, which is this big space type companies. I would buy some of these into the weakness and take it from there. Next, we look at major insider buys. Anytime you see the insider of the company, company CEO, CFO, directors, when they buy their own stocks, that shows you the confidence of these insiders in their own company. Anytime I see these huge insider purchases, I'll be watching those stocks carefully and see if it's worth buying along with these directors. For example, you got apartment, here AIV. The stock is $6 stock. They've been beaten up because with the COVID-19, people moved out of these big cities to suburbs and countryside. So now the stock is picking up. Insiders are buying their own stocks, as you can see, a huge percentage here. They're still down from 52-week high. I would look at these type of candidates here. I would buy a little bit along with these insiders on any temporary weakness and hold it for a while. I love stocks like Fastly. Again, it's a little bit pricey at this time, not too pricey. Insiders are buying it heavily. I would buy some Fastly. Even Asana, it's a great company. They want to help and take away all these mundane jobs from companies and automate. It's co-founded by one of the Facebook co-founder. I think it's a great stock. Right now, it's RSI is high. I would wait for a small pullback in Asana and buy the stock. And I love Editas. With all the gene editing stocks going up, Editas could be good one to nibble slowly. It's already up. It was down big earlier. It may be okay to nibble a little bit. Right now, RSI is 79, but sometimes these stocks can go up. These are secular growth stocks. When there is a momentum, stocks will go up. They don't care for RSI. They keep going up at times. I would buy this on any weakness and hold it for a while. As you scan through, I love EPD, Particity. You can see the bold ones. Those are the ones with the quarterly growth. And you should also look at gross margin, net margin. For example, IRWD, it's got a good net margin. That's a good one to go with. And as you scan through here, good gross margin with the RAG, Transocean. You got to be careful with these energy stocks here. They typically go up a lot and come down pretty quickly. You got to be a little careful. Don't buy a lot. Buy into weakness and take it from there. And as you scan through here, also look at the short ratios. Some of these stocks like Ironwood, RAG, Fastly, they all have high short ratio. The moment there is a high short ratio and insiders are buying their own company, you can expect some short squeezing going on here. That's why you got to be a little careful and buy them on the weakness, especially because they got high short ratio. Stock can result in a short squeeze and stock can go up quickly, fast. Now we got major sell. Insiders will sell their own stock for various reasons. It could be lockup expiration as an example. Could be personal reasons. Even the CEOs and directors, they're human beings. They might sell their stock from time to time. But what we should do is really look at some of these companies and see if it's worth investing. How is the stock doing? Is it dropped enough for us to get in? So as an example, we got many of these stocks starting with EAF. We got insiders selling. The one at the top is where they sold the most, and so on and so forth. I've highlighted few stocks in bold here, which have got quarterly sales growth. You should probably look at some of those carefully, and you can look at other ones also and see if it's worth buying. Typically, when the stock has been sold off enough, you see uptick in them. That's a good time to buy. As an example, I love stocks like Bumble, which is a dating site competing with the other dating sites. I think as the stock falls here, insiders are selling. You might look at buying them slowly and methodically. Same story with the Petco Health. Coinbase, another one, it's a hot IPO, cooled off of late. Insiders are selling, probably the lockup expiration here. You should slowly buy into these stocks and build a nice position here. And we got here Corsair Gaming, again a great stock here, $32. They've dropped 37%. Insiders selling, probably it's lockup expiration here. You could slowly add to the position, and same story with the Vuzix, PubMatic, one of my favorite stock here, SYY, Cisco in the food industry, Zoom, Cloudflare, which is again hot stock at this time, cyber security, they're into CDN, content delivery network. It's good to look at some of these companies and buy slowly and methodically. Next, major institutions, whenever major institutions go and buy these stocks, they don't buy in small quantities, they buy in huge quantities. We should look at some of these carefully. As example, App Harvest, stock has been dropping like a rock, dropped 65% from 52-week high, heavy short ratio here. Institutions are buying the stock. I would buy some of this App Harvest, especially because institutions are buying it, and high short float ratio, and this company can do well. I would buy slowly and methodically here. Valuation perspective a little bit high, as you can see here. And then you got BRTS, positive sales growth here. Institutions are buying them. I would buy some of this also. And as you can see, I highlighted some of these in green here. Arrival, again, a EV play, great one. I would buy some of Arrival too. And as you see here, Butterfly, one of my favorite here. Mozi, Snowflake, I think hot IPO stock has dropped 44% down from 52-week high. I would buy slowly into this weakness and accumulate a nice position. Same story with the Marathon, Affirm, CleanSpark. Again, its stock has been dropping, and now the institutions are buying it. It's a good one to buy also. I love, even Brooklyn, I love this company. I think I would buy this on any weakness. Gives a lot of, short-term swing trading opportunities. I think that's a good one. And we got CPE and UAWS. I have also highlighted, things like RSI. Whenever RSI is high, you could watch out a little bit. But most of these looks like RSI is relatively low. You could be okay here. And also look at the price to sales ratio. Whenever it's over 100 or even over 50, you got to be a little bit careful and watch carefully. So with that, let's jump into major institutions sell. Institutions are selling some of these stocks. We got to watch out. Institutions can sell stocks for various reasons. Maybe they want to show some profit or performance on a quarterly basis. We got to watch them carefully. As an example here, GameStop, institutions are selling it, insiders are selling it. You got to watch out some of these. When the stock is down so drastically, you might want to buy some slowly and accumulate. Sometimes institutions selling could be a good opportunity if it's a good stock. And as you can see here, I've highlighted few stocks here. STEM, SoFi. SoFi is one of my favorite in the fintech. I would slowly accumulate the stock and build a nice position. And same story with the Dun Brad sheet, SBSW, Futu, even Smith and Wesson. This is a gun and defense play. Stock has been dropping. Looks like nobody wants to buy gun anymore. I think you can look at temporary weakness here and buy some. And BioCrest, one of my favorites here, stock has been fallen off. Institutions selling. You could look for a nice entry position here and buy BioCrest, and even NEGG. So with that, let's now look at high volume. As of last Friday, some of these stocks have high volume. So whenever there's a high volume, you kind of know these stocks are in play right now because folks want to trade them. So as you see here, some of them are like Didi, which is a new IPO from China. Ride hailing as example, it's $15 stock, new IPO. I'll be watching this company. I'll be buying this one on any temporary weakness. And as you can see here, Virgin Galactic, same story. Marine software, it went up and down drastically last week. It's okay to buy on this temporary weakness. Apple all-time high. Apple typically trades on a high volume. Neo, I would, this Neo was down at 30, 35 a couple weeks ago. I've been accumulating. I think this is a good one to buy on any temporary weakness and hold it for a while. Then we got Mimi stock, Wish here. You could buy this on the weakness. I think generally company is a good company. AMD, on the other hand, right now RSI is high. It's a great company. I love legendary CEO Lisa Su, but I think you should probably wait for a small pullback and buy AMD. Ford, GM, all this will be electric car companies pretty soon. I would buy Ford on any weakness and hold it from there. And we got GE. I think new CEO Larry Culp is doing great. Probably we should buy on any weakness. They got reverse stock merger coming. That's a good one. I think it'll have good weighting on the Dow Jones Industrial Average as stock price goes up. Then we got stocks like Clover, Palantir, one of my favorite here. SoFi, again, stock has been falling off a lot. Even Lee is a good one. I would buy some of these companies into this weakness. I would also watch out carefully how much it's off from 52-week high. I would not buy stocks which are at 52-week high because typically they would give a small pullback. That's when we jump in. Now let's look at small cap weekly winners. So these are the small cap stocks. These have done very nicely in last week. As you can see here, we got Vista has done 28% in 1 week. ASTS 25%. Typically I don't like to chase the stocks when they're up so drastically, but generally I highlighted one stock here. You could look at CleanSpark Energy, up 2%, but off late it's been down a little bit. I think this one could be a good one to buy slowly and accumulate a nice position. And also look at some areas I've highlighted, RSI here. When the RSI is high, probably wait for a small pullback. When the RSI is low, like CleanSpark here, and even like Woozy as an example, it's 51. You could buy some of those at those levels. And don't chase these stocks, hot stocks. It's not worth it. Next is weekly small cap losers. Typically I get my picks from these losers most of the time. As you can see here, I highlighted few here. For example, XXII, it's a good stock. I would buy this into this weakness right now, 17% down. I think it's in the cannabis area. And we got TAL, which is in the education, online education, has been dropping off late. I would look at that too to add slowly to my position. And then we got Clovis Oncology, has been down for a while. I would buy some of this. And look at some 3D printing names also. They've been down off late. I would pick up some of them into this weakness. And I also love stocks like BTX. I would add this one into the weakness. So next we'll look at mid cap weekly winners. Same story here. We should not chase these into this 1 week performance. As you can see here, NTLA with the CRISPR technologies and gene editing, this stock has gone up 84% in 1 week. Wow, that's a huge growth in performance in 1 week. I would not chase this company here. I would wait for a little pullback. But if you were to buy, you could look at Editas, ticker symbol EDIT. They have done great in 1 week. I would wait for a small pullback and then buy this company. They're still down 45% from 52-week high. And then we got some of my favorites here. Grow Generation has done nicely. Right now RSI is 66. I would wait for a small pullback here. If you were to buy something, probably you can look at Daqo Energy, ticker symbol DQ. RSI is 49. That one could be okay. They were gone down drastically last week because of human right violation in China. Could be okay to look at into the weakness. And the stocks which are highlighted in bold have quarterly growth from a sales perspective. You could look at those companies as they drop a little bit. You can add to your position. Next is mid cap losers. This is one of my favorite lists as usual. I typically look at these losers and add to my position when the stock is right and it's got good growth going forward. So we got stocks like EXEL Exelixis. ouch, fell down by 22% last week because of the FDA, and one of their drugs did not do well. I would add to my position here. I'd been buying Exelixis last week on the drop. I think it's a good one. We can hold it for a while. It can give you a very good profit. Next, QFIN, it's a China-based company in the fintech play. Stock has been down 15%. I'm buying this company slowly and add to my position. Lexi Financial, same story. Stock dropped. Could be good to buy. And I like many of these companies here, even Laser, Luminar. I like this company also. Starbulk, I think looks like this company dropped 13%. These shipping companies, I think these go up and down drastically. It's okay to buy a little bit when they're down. Then we got 3D printing play, NNDM, one of my favorite here. I would buy this company on any weakness and hold it for a while. Stock has been dropping off late and it's trying to pick up a little bit, as you can see here in 2 week and 1 month. It's okay to buy a little bit high on valuation side, as you can see here. Digital Turbine, ticker symbol apps, it's a good play. They dropped 12%. Probably it's a valuation concern. I would buy this company into this weakness and hold it for a while. I love Butterfly. I will buy this on this weakness and accumulate slowly. And we got ANGI here, which is a new IPO, pulled 11%. It's okay to buy slowly and hold a good position here. Next, we'll go into large cap weekly winners. Again, these have done nicely. A large cap company like Novavax or Neo has done great, 15%, 12%. We got to watch out here. I would not chase these companies because they have done so nicely in 1 week. If I were to pick, I would pick stocks like Coinbase here, up 7%, but down 44% from 52-week high. And even Affirm, for that matter, I would like this company, 53% down. Fintech play, good one to buy. As we scan through here, we got Enphase Energy, again a good one. Sunrun, which is again a good one to play. And as you scan through Zoom video, it's been down off late. I would slowly start adding to my position. There is some concern in the generally with the people going back to work. Zoom video demand may go down a little bit, but I would slowly buy it. People will still work from home. Hybrid work environment will continue. So with that, let's jump in large cap weekly losers. This is typically one of my favorite lists. I would look at companies like KE Holdings, GoodRx, Palantir, and so on and so forth. GoodRx is a great company. It's been down off late. I will slowly start accumulating. And as you scan through here, quantum again, electric EV vehicles, I would slowly accumulate to my position. Walgreen and Rite Aid both dropped last week. I would slowly add to my position. No hurry here, slowly add to position, and that way you kind of get a good basis. I would look at some of these China plays like EDU, PDD, and cruise liners like NCLH, Norwegian Cruise Lines, Carnival Cruise Lines into this weakness. And same story with the Wayfair IQ. I would add to my position into this weakness and take it from there. Next, we look at mega cap weekly winners. As you can see here, most of these mega cap stocks have done very nicely. They're almost at their 52-week high. I would not chase them. If I were to pick one or two, I would stick with the companies like Intel with the new CEO, Pat Gelsinger. And I would also look at companies like probably CRM, Salesforce with Mark Benioff, and even Taiwan Semi, which is down 16% or so. I would stick with some of those names and wait for a small pullback before you pick these hot mega cap stocks. I think it's too high at this point. I don't want you to get burnt at this point. Next, mega cap losers. This is the list that you can take a look at and buy some of these names that I highlighted in green here. Tencent, Alibaba, Disney, which is a great reopening play, MasterCard, Berkshire. All of these companies are great. I think I would buy them on this weakness and hold it for a while. So with that, Thank you very much. Happy investing and trading. Please subscribe.